Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I'd like to talk to you about the Sikh Action Plan. The Sikh Action Plan was developed in 1997 and it was a 5-year plan. And the idea was communities helping other communities into the 21st century. And the Sikh Action Plan was an action plan that was devised and developed by myself together with Professor Irwin Mandir, Gurvinder Singh Kalsi, Neelu Kalsi and others. A number of professionals got together. We did a qualitative questionnaire of 600 families, and looking at those 600 families, and they were based in Coventry at the time, we developed what the needs of the community were. And the needs of the community focused on economic regeneration and business development, community facilities, education and training, preschool education, after school care, health in terms of mental health, physical health, and even spiritual health, youth development, countering the grooming. Now this is in 1995 we're dealing with, 1995-97. Women, enabling women to access facilities, particularly providing services to do with domestic abuse, psychological abuse, emotional abuse, forced marriages, crime in terms of how to enable youth and individuals who get hooked into crime, how to enable them to rehabilitate themselves, to provide proper support to families whose children or whose members are either put in custody or are charged. Tourism and culture, enabling the community here to make use of its facilities, to make use of its connections around the world. Sports and recreation, enabling individuals to bring together sports which are more to do with development of physical health, well-being, and not necessarily to do with strength. Communication and media, the development of Sikh channels, the development of Sikh radio. In fact, Sangat Radio was the first radio channel that was developed back in the 1990s as a community channel, and it is wonderful to see that Sangat Radio developed into Sangat TV. Communication, media, facilities for disabled, facilities for elderly, bringing the first and the third generation together such that we can communicate some of those skills that our previous generations have and how we can transfer them to our following generations. Housing, enabling gurdwaras not to just buy properties, but to develop them into social housing that could deal with the needs of the elderly that are so evident now. Enabling individuals to work with environment, enabling gurdwaras to become environmentally friendly, to ensure that we have our own growing mechanisms, we have our own food production mechanism and distribution. Also the langar that was left on Sundays and big events, how we could freeze it, how we could distribute it to people who need it more than we do. And this was signed by both the President and the General Secretary of the following Gurdwaras. Ramgarhia Gurdwara Sikh Temple in Coventry, Guru Nanak Prakash Gurdwara, Nanaksar Gurdwara, Gurdwara Guru Har Gobind Sahib, Sri Guru Singh Sabha, Sri Guru Ravidas Temple. All of them signed, their presidents and their secretaries. The sad thing is that none of them actually delivered what they signed up to. So each one of these activities had the needs of the community, the dates that we needed to work by, kind of milestones, individuals that were working within that particular group. So for example, within the youth, we had the Council of Sikh Gurdwaras, we had Sikh Economic and Welfare Association, we had Young People's Group, we had youth carers, we had local authorities, we had central government, and we had individuals who were named who were supposed to direct that particular initiative. 2 days after launching this, and this was launched on the 23rd of September 1997, 2 days afterwards, we had two individuals from Nishkam Sevak Jatha, which was Sardar Mandala and Sardar Chandanji. Both of them came, they said, we don't need you, but we need your Sikh Action Plan. And this Sikh Action Plan was then taken by individuals from Guru Nanak, Sevak Jatha, Nishkam Sevak Jatha in Birmingham. And what is wonderful to know is that some of this was actually developed and used, and the facilities in terms of schools, in terms of the conference center, in terms of some of the activities that have been developed by Nishkam Sevak Jatha, many of those are contained in this action plan prior to those activities being developed. So the question is very simple. If these so-called presidents and secretaries who have been given the authority to manage our community facilities, if they can put their name to something and completely disregard it, then the question arises that are they really fit enough to govern such institutions? These institutions called Gurdwaras, which have now grown in size, grown in community facilities, and grown in the income that it's generating. This is a historic document because it identifies what the community needs were 20 years ago based on qualitative research of 600 families and the inability of the so-called leaders to deliver it. Thank you very much. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.